Today's topic is going to be on integration options with third-party devices. We're going to be looking at a few different platforms to look at or to choose from based off of the number of devices, the number of triggers you have going off, the number of reactions you want based off those triggers, and just ease of use. For any end users that are on the phone, some of these are definitely capable for DIY folks. If you put a little time and effort into understanding them and playing with them, just like any technology. For our partners on the phone, this will give you a very good alternative to the more expensive platforms like a Crestron or a Control4 system that most homeowners can't afford. And this will allow you to offer smart home capabilities to the mass market. So all of this is designed around how Arlo can act as that trigger or as a reactor to third-party products and the software that acts as a glue to make all this happen. So we're going to go in and show you different screenshots of the sites from the different platforms we're discussing, so you can see all the variety of options that you have to look at. For homeowners that are out there, it's what products do you already have that fall in that smart home category, and then what would you like to tie Arlo into, and then what's in your plans down the road. For your partners that are on the line, these are the questions you want to ask your clients. Do you already own any smart home devices that are just standalone platforms right now that you want to tie in together? What are your plans down the road? What do you want to expand to over time? And once you have those types of intimate conversations with your clients, these platforms will allow you to tie all that in together fairly easily. So a couple years ago, we were looking at how do we tie in Arlo to these different platforms. And at that point in time, everybody was doing, sharing their APIs. And APIs open up a lot of security risks on the marketplace. And about a year ago, practically every camera system on the market in DVRs, NVRs, and TVs, they were all hacked. And it was a really nasty occurrence that took place. Netgear's Arlo system has never been successfully hacked. And the primary reason is that we've never shared our APIs with anyone. We are one of the leaders in pushing the cloud-to-cloud integration option because of the security concerns that we had as a company. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So what this cloud-to-cloud integration means is you have Arlo coming in from the camera to our base station up to the Arlo cloud. And then instead of having this Philips light bulb over on the far right talk directly to Arlo, which is what an API would allow it to do, they have to go to their cloud, and the two clouds talk together. So there's never any device-to-device interaction. So you couldn't come in over a thermostat, hack into the network, and start getting access to everything that's out there all through one hack. You'd have to end up hacking every single device that's out there. This is what prevents that from happening. So we support the following currently. We support if this, then that, the Samsung SmartThings platform, Stringify, Apple TV, and then Alexa. And so the first platform we'll dive into is IFT. IFT originally has its roots around one very simple thing. It was, I have multiple social media pages that are out there, and I did not want to, when I'm updating my photo, I didn't want to have to go and do that, 5 times, 6 times, etc. on separate transactions. I just want to do it once, and it happens everywhere. And so IFT was born, and they were able to do really easy things like that. So one trigger to one reaction. When it comes to Arlo, it allows you to create motion recipes. So if Arlo detects motion, then do something. You can do arm and disarm recipes. So if a thermostat is set to away, then arm the camera. Then also location recipes. So if you leave home, then you can arm Arlo. And if the number of products keeps expanding every single month, currently there's over 330 products out there that IFT supports that tie Arlo into it. So going back to that cloud-to-cloud picture. So here you'd have Arlo detects motion, goes into a base station up to the Arlo cloud, and that acts as the IFT part. IFT then goes, okay, we just got the signal in from Arlo. We're going to translate it over to the Philips language, and it sends it down to the Philips Hue control box or hub, and then that goes out to the light bulb and causes it to blink or turn red or whatever it is that you wanted it to do. So rather than a device talking directly to another device, everything's taking place up in the cloud for the security reasons we just talked about. So some stats on IFT. This is pretty impressive. We're in the top 100 applets since the day we launched in this area. Anybody can write an applet or a recipe for Arlo or for any other product that's out there, and they can publish it. And so there's lots of things that's already been done, but it's also easy if you want to do it yourself on something unique that you've come up with as identified as a problem. You can see the number of applets ran every day, so it's really stable. Over 70,000 applets run about Arlo on a daily basis. And the total applets are well over 17 million that take place since the last 24 hours. So when you download the IFT app on your tablet or your phone and you do a search on Arlo, this is what comes up. And over the next three screenshots, we're going to just be scrolling down. So if this is on your phone or on your tablet, it's just you're scrolling down. You're going to see what applets you have that are already active, and then you're going to see which ones are available out there. So the applets that I have running on my demo kit is if Arlo detects motion, then blink a hue battery-powered light called the Go, blink it. And then another one is if Arlo detects motion, turn a Philips Hue light on. So those are the two that I currently have running, and there's lots more that are out there. So you can have it where an email is published every time a new trigger or action takes place. You can have it where you get notified if somebody writes a new Arlo app for you. You have Alexa arm your Arlo. You have a Google Assistant do that. You can have it where it's tied to a calendar event, like so begin recording when motion is detected during the workday. So it's tied to a calendar. It knows what your workday is, and it's not going to record motion outside of that those hours. You can have it tied to Samsung SmartThings, which is one of the platforms we'll be discussing here. But if a specific sensor opens, then Arlo can start recording. And maybe you don't like getting push notifications or emails from Arlo, and you just want it to call your phone. And if your camera is in your garage and it's during the daytime and you're at work, you don't want to send you a push notification or an email where you may ignore that. You want it to call you because that means somebody's already in your house. They're in your garage. So that might prompt them and necessitate a phone call rather than just a push notification because of it's so urgent. So there's lots of different devices that are out there. You can see who published it, how many people have adopted the different platform for that particular reminder. So there's some that have 10,000 people that are doing it, and some that have 5 people that are doing it. But it's how do you solve a very specific problem using Arlo and some other third-party device. And you can also tie Arlo to some of our competitors that are out there. So you could have it where it talks to a Ring device. If you have a Ring doorbell camera and you want to use Ring as the trigger, or if you want to use Ring as the reactor, you can do that with our product here. You can tie it into Mosaic speakers. So it actually just says something and yells something automatically at them, rather than you pushing the speaker button on your Arlo system and yelling at them yourself. It will automatically do it once it detects motion. It'll have a dog barking or calling out something. Again, tying to a calendar. So at sunset, arm Arlo. At sunrise, disarm Arlo. Maybe you don't want to dive into your Arlo system to do arm and disarm and getting to that mode button because it's several different steps. So you can have a big do button on your phone and you just hit that button when you want to arm and disarm itself. So we're going to, this is an applet that we used, and we're going to discover, Arlo. We picked this applet, so we clicked on it. It gives you a little bit more details for it. And then it shows you actually how to go in and build it. So we want which motion's detected, or what do you want to happen? So as a trigger field, which device is it going to be? And there's a drop down showing all the Arlo devices that you have that IFT is aware of. And then what's that action going to be? How do you want to respond? And you can do that whether it's low battery or a disarm, start recording, audio detected. It knows all of that because of that cloud-to-cloud integration. It knows what we're capable of doing, and it knows what those connected devices are capable of doing as well as for a response. So this is how easy it is. You just select what you want it to do. So in closing out on IFT, I would use IFT if it's only a single device that I want Arlo to connect with. And I want that single reaction to respond to a single trigger. So maybe I'm just starting out and I have an Arlo system and I have one SmartThings sensor, or I have a light bulb. and I want that to come on when my Arlo is detected or my door opens up, then IFTTT is definitely a very easy platform to start off your smart home experience in doing. And you can adopt a recipe that somebody else already has made, or you can take on the challenge and build it out yourself. But it's a very easy way to get started in the whole smart home integration option. So SmartThings. SmartThings is a little bit different of a beast. Samsung created this as a platform for several of their own products. And then for the products that they were lacking, or they had no intention of building them themselves, they said we're going to open it up for integration with other products that are out there. So there's a wide variety of products on the marketplace, and we're going to walk through some of what they have to offer. One of the things that's different here is that you're allowed to just have the SmartThings app open and not have to actually go into the Arlo app. So everything that you can do, or practically everything you do in the Arlo app, you can do in the SmartThings app and have everything at your fingertips, all of your smart devices off of one app rather than toggling between a variety of different platforms. So you can get your push notifications, your live streaming, see battery life, all of that via the SmartThings app. You can activate cameras via the triggers via that way as well. And what it allows you to do is Arlo can now interact with devices that are using Zigbee or Z-Wave via the SmartThings Hub. And without that SmartThings Hub, you wouldn't be able to interact with those types of sensor devices. So the setup is pretty easy. You're going to download the SmartThings app to your tablet or to your phone. You're going to create that account, and then you can do a search on the third-party products that you want to take a look at. So here's some screenshots of what that would look like. And then here's what the Arlo app within the SmartThings platform takes a look at. So it's a little different look and feel that when you're used to with Arlo, but on the left-hand side, you can see, okay, motion's turned on. You can see your camera signal strength. You have battery life indicator in the last still shot of what your camera is doing. The middle one shows all of your triggered events. And then the far right allows you to arm or disarm. And so you can do pretty much everything you wanted to do off of that one platform, not have to go back and forth. So there's lots of different products out there by categories. And this is the SmartThings website that I'm going to show you some options here. And they do a featured product section. So here it's Arlo and a Leviton dimmer and a Philips Hue light bulb. But they also have different categories on the left. So hubs and kits, integration options, voice assistants, lighting and switches, and outlets. So in the hub kits, they have their generic hub. They have a TV version of their hub and their Connect Home hub, but they also have something that's announced with ADT. So now SmartThings will work with ADT, which also now means that your Arlo can work with ADT if you're using SmartThings to act as that glue between everything in the process. Integration options here. There's stuff tied to Garmin and for the iPhone or Android piece for Google Assistant, as well as for Alexa. Under voice assistants, they support the Dot, the Echo, the Google Home product. A large variety of lights, and this is just a snapshot of it. There's there's about 50 different lighting and switches that it supports from a variety of different vendors. And then smart outlets as well. And then this is their line of sensors, but they have some non-Samsung sensors available to the market. A variety of cameras and doorbells, not just from Netgear, but also from some of our competition. And then door locks. So Samsung's approach was, let's look at all the different categories of devices. And the final one is thermostats, like the Nest. What's all the different categories of devices you'll find in a smart home integration, and what are we going to make our own? What is it that we're going to go and do through partnerships and tie them all together in some fashion? And that's what SmartThings has done rather successfully. Oh, I left off speakers. Sorry about that. So we're going to show you a snapshot of how it works here, and you can go in off their website, and it'll actually walk you through a video on all these different interactions. It's kind of a cool automated video so you can see it. But the first step is on the SmartThings, you're going to buy SmartThings because that is your glue, and you're going to figure out which hub you're actually going to be using. The next is, what devices do you have in the marketplace or that you already own or that you're going to buy? And the third is how you're going to control them. So are you going to leverage, are some devices you're going to still use their apps, or are you going to have one master app controlling everything? So some of the benefits of SmartThings, there's really, well, it shows here like five of them. For me, it's if you have a large variety of devices that you want to connect up, this is an all-in-one-stop shop to allow you to do that. It's pretty bulletproof. It allows you to access through one app everybody's different products, so you're not toggling between them. It makes it really easy to control your Arlo without going into the Arlo app. On a personal note, we ended up doing, we have another series of webinars that we'll be coming out with on each one of these platforms in deeper detail. So we'll show you a screenshot of how to do actual integrations with different products, screenshot by screenshot, and what the live result's going to be. Those are coming. And here's the demos that we'll be doing with the SmartThings platform. So a lot of it is where the SmartThings sensors are acting as the trigger, and then it's causing reaction to some other third-party product or to the Arlo product, or Arlo acts as the trigger to one of those third-party products. So on the integration step, the first thing you have to do is you're going to set up your Arlo system. Second thing is you're going to set up your SmartThings system via their app. And the third is you're going to have to go and configure any other third-party products via their native app. So once you have all that individual configuration done, then you can come in and connect them all together into the SmartThings app. So kind of elaborated on this already. So on bullet point number 2, we tie everything together. On SmartThings, they want you to create rooms. So you're going to have a diagram of your home on the SmartThings app, and you'll name each room. So living room, kitchen, front porch, backyard, master bedroom, etc. And you're going to place which devices are in each one of those rooms. And then you're going to figure out what your triggers and reactions are going to be for each room or for the house in general. And they call those routines. So it helps you automate stuff pretty easily. They'll give you a dashboard that shows you how to do all of this, and that's called Smart Home Monitor. And that allows you to add more functionality than just routines allow. So if you want Arlo to be the reactor to a trigger, then the routines are very easy, and that'll work. So if the front door opens, the door sensor goes off, Arlo turns on in the living room. That is something that you do through a routine, and it's very straightforward on how to do that. If you want Arlo to act as the trigger and to cause some other device to work, that's when you have to go into this more advanced smart home monitor. And unfortunately, the documentation on how to do that isn't very straightforward. And that's something that you're going to have to do some trial and error with if you're going to explore it on yourself, or when our webinar comes out on this particular platform, we'll dive in exactly how to do it. But it definitely wasn't straightforward to learn how to do this and tie it in where Arlo acts as the trigger first. So when would I use SmartThings? Maybe I already bought SmartThings before I bought my Arlo system, so I already have an investment in that area, and I'm going to maintain that investment. So it makes sense to keep it as that glue platform. I want a variety of sensors for my property, whether it's windows or doors or a water leak sensor, and I want it to be easy to install, and I might expand it over time. So that's an option for you. Integrating SmartThings with Arlo is easy, and again, going back to it's not as obvious if you want Arlo to be the trigger, but it can be done, and we'll teach you how to do that on the next webinar. But that's when I would use it. If you already have that investment, or if you want the sensors type of it, this is a fairly easy thing to go in and do. So Stringify. So Stringify, these guys came out of the IFT community, and IFT wasn't just about smart homes. It was about lots of other things as well. And Stringify, they wanted to focus just on smart home automation. So they've gone out and enabled that cloud-to-cloud integration to take place for this. And they've done an excellent job, and they've expanded. It's not just about devices, it's also about services. So a lot of products, over 600 products and services that allow multiple triggers and reactions. So we'll show you some examples here coming up. And basically, they're saying you can connect, all of your things and all your services together, and it's true, and it's not so difficult to do. All right, we're going to jump right over to, well, here, they've done a lot of great write-ups about this. So if you actually go in and Google Stringify, you'll see a ton of stuff written on it. So it's been highly recommended, and it's very easy to use, which is one of the reasons why they like this. This is probably the closest comparison to that Crestron or a Control 4 system that you're going to get. So for any partners that are online, this is the one that I would take a real hard look at adopting. And so here's one example. So when your Arlo detects motion in the backyard and it's nighttime, so you're referencing a calendar, which is like a service, then turn on your lights, which is trigger number 1, and play a dog barking sound over the speakers. That's trigger number 2. So it's one reaction prompted by a service going to 2 reactions. Here is a camera located inside an office. So when the door to the office opens and you are away from the office, so not only is a door sensor taking place, or the motion sensor on the Arlo is taking place, and they know that you're away from the office. There's a calendaring aspect to it as well. That's a service. Then the reaction is turn the light on to red and to record the video. So that's 2 reactions there. Then they want you to save the video to a Box account and then Slack the video over to you directly. So there's actually 4 reactions going off of one trigger event and tying in another service. And this Kids Party is a pretty interesting example. So when you tell Alexa to run SpongeBob, they want you to actually record the video on Arlo, play the party list on the Logitech Harmony system, and turn all your lights to purple. And then I want you to post the video to Facebook and save it to a Dropbox account. So it's tying in, 2 different services, several different reactions to a single trigger of, I'm speaking, run SpongeBob to Amazon's Alexa. So, they're all about IoT. They have a lot more devices than most of the other platforms supported, and also tying in the services. So it's kind of an end-to-end solution when you're creating that smart home environment. So for Stringify, what I like is if I have a variety of devices that I've purchased over time from several different vendors, and I want them to connect to a single platform. And I want to tie in services. That's really the kicker there. If I want to tie in services with those devices. And then the second kicker is if I have multiple reactions based off of a single trigger. This is really the easiest way of doing it. If you enjoy working with technology, you're not afraid of it, definitely embrace this platform, because once you understand how it works and you know how to build out a workflow, it's very easy to expand upon that. So if you're a DIY homeowner online right now, you can definitely tackle this if you're a little adventurous and you're willing to do some trial and error and some exploring. And if you are a smart home integrator or another type of partner, an alarm company partner, wanting to do this for your clients, this is an excellent option for you. Because once your techs have done it once or twice, they're going to be very proficient at doing it. So it's great for partners. The next application we have is with Apple TV and the Apple Watch. And what this allows you to do is, instead of going to your computer and looking at your Arlo app, you're actually allowed to see it on a big TV. So if you get that notification sent to you, you can actually pull it up on your TV and have nice big shots of all your cameras on your 50-inch TV platform. So it's very easy and to view that experience. This is off the Arlo support website, and it talks about just how to engage with Apple TV. This is probably the best documentation on how to make it happen. So go to Arlo support section and just search on Apple TV, and it'll take you here and it'll walk you through how to do it. Let's see. On Amazon Alexa, so when we go to Amazon's Alexa skills, the apps that are out there that are tied, or the skills that are tied to Alexa, if you are not an active Alexa user, it's going to be kind of clunky for you to get going. You really need to understand how Alexa works and how you issue it commands before you start going with Arlo. And that's really where the feedback we've gotten about this is that you have to understand that it doesn't interpret everything you say. You have to speak very specific commands, and then if you don't use those exact commands, then it's not going to issue the item, the executable item for Arlo to do. So in other words, Alexa, show the backyard. You can't say, Alexa, what's going on in the backyard? Alexa won't understand that. You have to say very specific words. So if you're proficient in using Alexa for other items and you understand that, then the Arlo experience with Alexa is pretty good. If you do not understand that, you're going to struggle with it. And I struggled with it when I first adopted it because I did not have a home assistant active in my house at that time. So if you go to the Arlo website, there's a couple of videos on how to make this work, and I would recommend doing that if you're interested in making it work with Alexa. All the platforms we've talked about show that they tie in Alexa, but all of them push you to Amazon, to the Alexa side, and do the integration from there, and then tie it back in. So you're not going to go to the SmartThings website or to the Stringify website and think you're going to do the integration. And from that standpoint, for Alexa, you actually have to go to the Amazon website and do the Arlo skill on the Amazon website. And then once you've done that, then it will link back into Stringify or SmartThings or IFT. So here's just a couple of steps. So you're going to make sure that Arlo is up and running and functioning properly. You're going to ask Amazon Alexa, once you have it configured, because you have to configure it initially like you would any other third-party device. You're going to configure it and ask, enable Arlo skill, and then it's going to walk you through verbally some of those action items that Alexa will be speaking to you, and then you'll be able to start using it. So example, Alexa, show me the front door, and this is off the Arlo website, and you can see this video on how all this responds. So in summary, for end users, if you're a DIY type of person and you enjoy spending time diving into a new technology, then definitely take a look at one of these options. If you're not that type of person, then please go out and hire a pro. It's not worth the frustration of trying to figure this out if you don't enjoy doing that. If you are the DIY type, then you need to determine what types of technology you want in your home, what problems you're trying to solve, or make everyday things easier for you. Then you're going to have to figure out what integration option is ideal for your goal. Are you just doing one thing? Are you automating a whole house? Do you want to connect services? Keep an eye out because technology is constantly changing in these options. All the platforms are allowing more and more products and services to connect up to them. So every month check it out to see what's new. If there's another problem that you have at your home that you would love to automate, the odds are that it'll be taken care of for you in the near future. And then finally, all this is running off of your Wi-Fi network. So make sure your network is secure. If you have a router that's several years old, consider getting a new router because the security platforms have changed. And if you are in the market for a new product, check out the new Netgear Orbi. It's a mesh router for your home or business that allows you to not have to use Wi-Fi range extenders with multiple SSIDs. So it's very, very easy to run, and it's blazingly fast. It's the fastest router that's out there. So if you need a new router and you're worried about it not being secure, check out Orbi and get that as you're doing this whole automation process. And that also goes along for you partners on the line. That one of the things that you need to make sure is that network link is strong and secure. And if you notice that they have a router that's several years old, you may want to ask them to go ahead and update their router. They'll be much happier for that. For partners that are out there, not every household can afford a Control4 or a Crestron home automation system. You guys know the price points that are out there, and really it's like a top 5% of the market that actually afford something like that. So using these types of integration options allows you to offer home automation products to the masses, to everyone. Even college kids can do this in their dorms. So knowing how to do this helps you sell your value to your prospect or existing clients. And there's always that, whenever I do trainings at a partner's location, it's how do I get them to not buy from retail? Well, you have to show the value of you over what a retail store clerk would be. And this is one way of being able to do it, because this is something that a retail clerk cannot do. If you're an alarm dealer, this allows you to expand your offering and get into the home automation business because you already have that installed base. And if you're a smart home integrator and you're thinking about the alarm side, this allows you to start getting to that alarm business also. But also it allows you to say, to go back to all those customers I've told you no over the years and show them a solution that's a lot more affordable that will get them to say yes. And that's probably your biggest value, is that you've been told no an awful lot because of that price point of those two systems. And now you can go back and capture revenue because it is not price prohibitive here. And if I had to focus on one platform as a partner, I'd probably look at Stringify as a leading platform, just because I can tie in the services and tie in everything else. Even if they have SmartThings sensors that you want to use, SmartThings does work with Stringify. So there are tutorials available for partners on our partner portal on these different platforms, and we'll have one from Alexa and Apple TV coming very soon. And with that, we'll open it up for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. That was a great presentation. If you guys have any questions, feel free to enter it in our Q&A or in the chat. We'll be happy to answer them. While we're waiting for questions, just wanted to let you know our upcoming webinar is tomorrow at 11 a.m. It's going to be about readiness and the updates we have for that.
Hi, Greg. We have a question from Wes.
Okay.
It's about what about hands-on? Do you have a dealer kit so we can learn and experience?
So we do have if you are an Arlo dealer or you want to become an Arlo dealer, we can send you out an Arlo starter kit that has a base station and 2 cameras. It's a not for resale kit, and it's meant for you to actually either have in your showroom or to actually take out to potential client sites. And once it's been configured the first time, all you need to do to show it on site is ask to have access to their router or switch, and you pop it in with an RJ45 Ethernet cable and plug in the power supply, and now it's up and running. And you can pull it up on your phone after about 2 or 3 minutes for it to cycle up, and you can show them actually what their home looks like, your backyard, the front yard, where you've placed the 2 demo cameras, and that helps a lot for homeowners to visualize what they'd actually be seeing as part of their actual experience. So we do offer that. You can go to the Arlo website, and there is a partner recruitment banner. Click on there, fill out the partner application, and then once you get signed up, you can just request to have a partner kit or demo kit sent out, and I'll get that done.
Is there a YouTube on how to run this demo, or a URL we can send them?
There are tons of YouTube videos on Arlo itself, on practically every subject that's out there. On our partner portal, we actually have trainings that talk you how to fine-tune the Arlo system. Again, that's something that a retail sales clerk does not know how to do, and another reason to why somebody should buy it from a hands-on partner of ours, somebody that's actually coming to their residence and doing the installation, because you do have the ability to get the training of really to fine-tune it for their specific needs. And there's about 6 or 7 tutorials that are on the partner website right now that will allow them to fine-tune that Arlo system. There's not tutorials yet on specific third-party products on how to do this integration. There's 3 tutorials that are in development right now, and they should be up and available here probably by the end of the year. So the next couple of weeks, you'll start seeing them published to that partner portal as well.
All right, now we have another question from Craig. He says, Do you need an Arlo Pro base station for these integrations to work, or will it function with the original Arlo base station?
So the IFT platform and Stringify, they all work with the original base station. And from an Arlo perspective, everything is forwards and backwards compatible. So like, for example, in my personal residence, I have the original Arlo running. I have an Arlo Q running. And I have a Pro and Pro 2, all going back to an original base station. But now with the original base station, I don't have the alarm because the original base station didn't have that. So that functionality is not shown on my Arlo app because I don't have the newer hardware for the base station. But I do have the ability of talking through the Arlo Pro or Pro 2 camera because that hardware has been updated. So that's one of the things we strive to do with Arlo is everything is forwards and backwards compatible. And when you are going to these different integration options, they are also integrating different cameras as well. So they'll know, okay, is this a Q? They'll know what integration capabilities they have with the Q. Some of them support everything the Arlo has, some of them do not. Like for example, I know with the Arlo Go 4G camera, these guys have not done any home automation work on that product yet, even though that's been out for about a year. So that's the only Arlo product that is not tied there that I'm aware of. And the Pro 2, because it just came out, it may not also be showing up there, but I'll have to do some checking to see, because the Pro 2 is really similar to the Pro from a functionality standpoint, other than the resolution, that it probably will still work.
All right, thank you. There's another question from Mike Adams. He says, I'm a homeowner with security needs at a remote location that does not have Wi-Fi. What do you suggest? This is for inside and outside the building.
Okay, so for areas that you do not have Wi-Fi, if you have a cellular-based connection, so if your cell phone works out there, there are the equivalent of like a Wi-Fi or a MiFi hotspot options that have an RJ45 jack built onto them. And so if you can get that MiFi from AT&T or Verizon that has the RJ45 jack on it, you can plug our base station directly into it, and you could have the Arlo experience for that and be able to do all of this stuff. So you could have that MiFi with the RJ45 jack, plug in a router, and that router would give you additional RJ45 ports. And then you could have like the Samsung SmartThings Hub or the Philips Smart Hub. Some of these other technologies require a physical line connection that you'd plug into that switch, as well as our base station, and then you can go on and have that entire experience. When I do my demos on the road, that's how I run it. I have a device with AT&T that gives me cellular download and upload, and then it has a single RJ45 jack that I plug in a PoE switch from Netgear, as well as or a Netgear router, and I plug in all my different devices into that. So I run it over cellular a lot. If you don't have cellular out there and you do not have so you don't have any type of Ethernet connection, then you're kind of in a pickle there with cloud-related type of products. In that particular case, you may want to just get a hardwired camera with a local DVR and run security in that manner, because it's not requiring any type of connectivity. But there are downfalls from doing that, because you're not going to get those notifications when you're away. So you have to figure out some way of getting some type of connectivity out to that house. Satellite's also an option, but I know that's a lot more pricey. The easiest thing's probably to go and get that cellular if it's available.
I hope that answered your question, Mike. And I think that's all the questions we have in our Q&A and chat. If you guys have any more additional questions, feel free to email us. Our email will be on the follow-up email and was on the reminder email. Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you.
Thank you again, everybody, for making time today to participate. Much appreciated.